Well, Kelvingham, thanks for joining me, buddy. We're talking about the future of real estate. The future's arrived.
We are, Patrick, and it's so good to see you.
You as well, my friend.
Patrick, so we've got an event going on in the GT in Toronto, or Toronto, yes, as we Torontonians like to call it.
Yes, and I'm coming in. I'm honored and privileged to be a speaker, and I'm looking forward to talking about the future of real estate. But tell us about the event. What is it? Who should attend? Why should they attend? Tell us.
Yeah. So Patrick, you know what's interesting is that, you and I, we were talking about this before we got on the call. We've been around in the real estate space for a while, and considering the people that I'm hanging out with now, I think they see me as, an old guy.
Okay, dude. So just so you know, Naran, you know, at a recent event I was at, they labeled me the grandfather of real estate.
Oh.
I went from the doom and gloomer boomer to the grandfather of real estate. So I'm just sharing that little insight with you. Yeah, we've been around a long time.
We have. How long have you been in real estate?
I started investing in about 1999, really kind of picked up the pace in 2000.
Okay, so you've been at it for a good
25
quarter
years.
Of a century.
Yeah. Quarter of a century. That sounds longer than 25 years. Okay. Okay. So we've got it. Okay. Let's get back on point. We got an amazing event. You have an amazing event coming up.
So we do have an amazing event. And the reason I wanted to talk about how long you've been investing is because you've been at it for 25 years. I've been at it for about 15, 17 years. We have an event because what I think you and I and a number of us have noticed is that the landscape is changing. And real estate investing is not just getting, I would have to say, it's getting more difficult, much more challenging. And, Patrick, it used to be a few years ago, you could go and buy a brick. And if you bought a brick, you were considered an expert in real estate investing because everything was going up. Mm-hmm. In today's market, you got to know what's going on. So this event is about the future of real estate. Of not what's happening now, not what's happening, around the corner, but what's happening in the future. What do we need to prepare for? Which way are the trends pointing? I think that when people show up to this event, after hearing you as our keynote speaker, given that you've got 25 years in the business, and given that you are the, I don't want to use the word grandfather, but the godfather of real estate investing for Canada.
My good friend Alfonso Quadra has the godfather of real estate handle. I'll let him keep that one. But I want to come back to something that you talk about, the future of real estate. So I'm very much of the future is now kind of guy. Like that's how I think. I realize that the future really is now. And yes, the real estate market isn't changing. It is in fact changed. And if we are not going to step into it, we can deny it. We can try and live into the old story. The game has changed and it's rapidly changing even more. Our job as real estate investors, and I want to just qualify something. Why do we invest in real estate? Certainly we want to create a financial future. We want that financial foundation, financial certainty, security, even financial freedom, Naran. And we actually operate that. But the world has changed. We are looking at a global, macro, geopolitical kind of issues that are showing up. We're looking at what's happening to our currency. It wasn't that many years ago, if I referred to the term fiat currency, everybody would look at me blankly and go, what exactly is fiat currency? I've never heard that term before. Now it's, if you don't know and understand the concept of fiat currency, promissory notes is what they are. The point is this: as we see the devaluation of our dollar and all fiat currencies, as we start to recognize that in the near future, the Canadian dollar is losing value against our primary reserve currency being US currency, it's costly. The point is all of this is that we have to look at all of these and say, investing in hard assets, or what I refer to as stores of value, are paramount to our financial future success. And real estate remains one of those things. How we invest in real estate is what's changed. And I think really that's the primary point that you're making, is that the game has changed. You know, gone are the days of everybody could be a real estate investor or speculator, do-it-yourselfer. We need, and people need, somebody to help them and even do it for them. That's a different conversation. But these are some of the topics we're going to be covering at the event, Rand.
Patrick, one thing I want to highlight, I think it's crucial, and if you're listening, I think you need to make note of this and just shift in your mind. We, as real estate investors in the game, we approach it as, how is it changing? And Patrick, you said something crucial. You said it's not changing, it has changed. Mm-hmm. Given that it has changed, can you, I don't want you to give away all our good stuff for next week, okay? But can you just, at a very high level, paint the picture of what you think real estate investing, or what is it going to look like 5 years from now for people that adapt to the change that has already happened, and for people that don't adapt to the change?
Well, there's a fundamental around real estate investing, Naran, you know this, and that is that we can't be chasing the wave. We actually have to be in front of the wave. So when we talk about the futurization and the future of real estate, we say, well, where is it going? We want to get in front of that particular wave and let the wave kind of drag us or float us to the beach, if you will, with a nice soft landing, as opposed to trying to chase this wave of change. So how is it going to change? First off, we have to look at, and just get flat on one fundamental thing, which is real estate is still a store of value. It is still going to appreciate with inflation. It is still going to have all of the things around real estate in terms of why we invest in it, to leverage capital, but also to stay ahead of the increasing costs of living and all the things that real estate continues to do. The how part of it is what is going to primarily change. And when we look at rising interest rates, when we look at the difficulty in getting mortgages, when we look at the cost of a piece of real estate, you know, back in 2000, back in 2010, you know, along the years, Naran, you know, you and I both know that we could take $100,000 as an example, and we could actually invest in a piece of real estate, and it was 20 or 25% down. Well, those days are gone. You know, the cost of real estate over the past 4 or 5 years has escalated. Yes, it's pulled back from its all-time highs. I get it. But ultimately, we as investors have to look and say, what are the strategies to invest in real estate in the future? Because do-it-yourselfers, I mean, they're shut down right now. I mean, I've been in this industry 25 years, spoke to thousands of real estate investors, and I've never seen this particular industry as shut down as it is right now. And there's all sorts of reasons around it. You know, there's the FUD, the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt. There's the difficulty in getting financing. There's the challenges of raising or having enough capital for a down payment, all of these things. So this event is about how do we invest in real estate in the future? And I'm going to speak to not only the economic fundamentals of what's going on, because that is paramount to our understanding of why we should be investing in real estate, but also give some insights, and other speakers at the events giving insights into what and how will we be investing in real estate in the future.
That's really good, Patrick. And it's the how is so crucial. You know, one of the things you mentioned about the $100,000 becoming no longer being able to buy a cash flowing property in today's market. The other thing that has happened, and I have these conversations with people, because even though the value has gone up and you need more than 100K to buy a piece of property, people's income has not gone up in the same way. And so what's happened is that the amount of capital that people can save towards that investment property now becomes smaller, and the timeline gets further. And it keeps people out of the market. Now, Patrick, are you going to be in the how without giving too much away? Let me ask you this: what is something that has surprised you as a shift in the investor market today that has kind of made you sit up and take notice?
Well, I think there's, you know, first and foremost, you know, there's a foundational, I guess, a fundamental that I've come to believe, understand, you know, and certainly can quantify what I'm talking about. but I say often, there is no bad time to invest in real estate. Right now, there's a lot of people saying it's not the right time, there's a bubble, it's going to crash, it's going to do all these things. So first off, there's not a bad time to invest in real estate. There's just the wrong strategy given what's happening economically. So in this cycle that we're in right now of real estate, we have to change the strategy that we're using to invest in real estate. Gone are the days, for example, let's go back to first-time home buyers. Let's just talk about first-time home buyers. I'm not surprised by it. I'm actually excited by it. But first-time home buyers now, to actually afford and to be able to get into that dream home or that first piece of property, there's an initiative that I'm talking a lot about, which is called the self-funding house. Some would refer to it as a housing hack, which is simply your principal resident also becomes an investment, and then the strategy to do that. That's just one example of the change. For those investors who used to be do-it-yourselfers, they've got capital, they're exiting some of their single family or small multifamilies. Then they go, well, where do I place my capital? So the education level and the understanding is shifting. And as importantly at this event, my understanding is that there'll be a number of professionals that are also joining us, whether they'll be mortgage brokers or realtors or legal counsel, whatever that might be. The point being is that they are having to shift how they deal with their clients, how they guide their clients. And that's also something that is shifting, as well as the number of people that are looking at private REITs, public REITs. How do I put capital to work in an effective way in a public or a private REIT, as an example, in a limited partnership, as an example, as a joint venture partner? So more and more people are surrounding themselves with, like-minded teams that understand how they can place their capital. And given the transfer of wealth that's going on, Naran, and you and I both have seen this and witnessed this, there's a lot of, I'll call them young boomers who are going, I've got this capital, I want to stay in real estate, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to be in the trenches. I want to put my feet up, I want to put my money to work, I want to know that it's in real estate and that it's handled by some people that know what they're doing.
Yeah. So if you are listening to this and we have tweaked your interest, we would highly recommend you show up Friday, November, what date is that? It's the 22nd. 22nd on Friday at the National Golf Club, but you need to pre-register for it, and it is complimentary to you if you come. The best way to get the link is follow either Patrick or myself on our socials, and it will show up. Patrick, is there a way for you to put the link directly in your...
Link is in the description right across the board here, the whole thing, all of it here in the description, whatever you happen to be looking at. And by the way, this isn't a huge event. This is actually kind of join us for a coffee. So as much as we'll be doing some presentations, and myself and a couple of other speakers at least, it'll be also an opportunity to get questions asked and answered. To really kind of get deep into what is it for you specifically. We can answer those questions, support you along the way.
That's so true, Patrick. And the people that need to attend this event is if you are a real estate investor, especially if you got a few properties under your belt, and you're getting to the place where you're going, I want to keep investing, and I'm struggling, or I'm just tired of what's going on right now. Or if you are a professional, a mortgage broker, a realtor, a wealth manager, a lawyer that is dealing with clients, and you need effective, intelligent IP so that you can coach and mentor and expand your business, you need to be at this event.
It's going to be amazing. We're talking economic fundamentals, exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff.
Naran, well, thanks for doing this. And folks, if you're watching this, join us in Toronto, the 22nd. It's an afternoon event. I think we go from 2 o'clock till 6 p.m., somewhere in there, 5 p.m. And small group, get your questions answered, have a conversation about the future of real estate, how to put capital to work the most effective way, whether that's you directly or for the professionals that are out there in the real estate world. How do you support your clients in the most impactful way? Naran, thanks, man.
Thank you, Patrick. Look forward to seeing you in a week.